our food.
Good everybody, Jung and Nick here. Welcome to the show, the Biz Shiz show. Real business owners having a chat about real business topics in a real kind of way, without the BS kind of thing. Man, we must be at episode 16 now.
Man.
Nice,
16.
nice. Man, we got a bit of a. It's nice, right, that we got a bit of a recurring following. So, for those of you that are tuning in live.
It's great.
Say what's up, man. Yeah, we're getting some pretty consistent numbers, right? Every week at the moment. Yeah, it's just been building and building. So yeah, lovely to have you. Thanks for joining us. We hope it's of value to you, and always open to feedback too, right? Chuck it up in the comments, chuck it up in the DMs, email Nick, whatever works for you. I think he's on Instagram a lot. And if you're watching this as a recording, feel free to check in comments. We do try to keep an eye on those and try to get back to those. Right, we've had a couple of questions come through in the last couple of weeks, I think, and yeah, we'll try and give you some perspective, right? I don't think any coach that kind of says this is the absolute way to do things is right, to be honest. There's probably a million ways to skin a cat, but I think we've got some pretty solid kind of concepts, frameworks, experience, background that we share with you to try and give you a pretty solid perspective. Tonight's topic, how your personality affects your business plan, your business performance. And for most of us, right, 99% of businesses, the dynamics of the team that you want to build around you. And just framing up this topic, right, to jump straight in. Look, keen on your guys' thoughts too. Yeah, jump in the comments. Maybe I'm interested in what's something that you learned about your personality later in the business. For those of you that have been around a while, and once you realize that, it enabled you to kind of build a better business, right? And I'll give you an example of this. Oh yeah, you're back, Nick. Okay, cool. I'll go do some sharing actually. How do you think I think a lot of business owners, here's a question, I'll leave you with a question, right? Like, I think a lot of business owners, in my experience, like, dude, so many, like 9 out of 10, they get into business and they do the business thing, right? And they got to do the marketing, they got to do the selling, they got to do the product, they got to do the service, whatever. And then they find themselves, 2, 3, 5 years in, and they're in this role, right? And they, just to speak simply, they kind of hate what they do, right? Or they're not happy with it anyway. Right. And, you must have experienced this because you were in business for quite a long time. And, what was there any point where you realized, like, shit, wait, I'm not that guy. I'm not the accountant guy. I'm the ideas guy. I'm the mouthpiece guy. I'm the talk shit guy.
Oh, I'm the mouthpiece guy.
I wasn't trying to, totally not trying to lead or anything
a riot,
like
my friend. Pretty early in the show. It's pretty early in the show, mate.
Oh yeah.
Now look, this actually came up. This actually came up in our Biz Squad last Monday, and it was really interesting because Tim, I'm not sure if Tim's on yet, but I'm sure he will tune in. He comes to realize that I'm really good at being the sales guy, but man, sitting about and punching keys and getting admin and paperwork done is just not me. And so kind of the solution that sort of, as a group we came together was for him just to start with 1 hour a week of finding and replacing 1 hour a week of dead time, of bullshit time, of admin time, by outsourcing that to someone. So we actually catch up again Monday. So I'm really excited to hear how that played out. But yeah, so back to sort of me and my journey. Yeah, look, I kind of realized pretty early on that I'm fucking allergic to paperwork. Like it's not me. I'm pretty good with the keyboard and the computer, and I can tap the keys away and I can do all that kind of stuff. But sitting there uploading,
No, you're not. Okay.
Oh, come on, man. Probably type faster than you. It's because you use those bloody Apple things, man, that don't work properly. This guy rings me today and we're yarning away, and literally that's the sound coming out of his phone.
That's because your crappy Samsung can't process the high quality sound that it's getting, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, I realized quite early on that processing invoices, entering stuff into Zero, it really just it wouldn't be a good use of my time, and I'd get frustrated doing it. There's no point in me sitting there till 7, 8, 9 at night punching away on the keys. What I did realize early on also that, as Jung alluded to, pretty good with the marketing side, the chit chat side, getting in front of the camera, and sort of being the personality, the star of the business. So played to those strengths early on. Really spent a lot of time, creating content, creating a brand story, that kind of thing. Now there might be other business owners that are watching that couldn't think of anything worse than the idea of actually, being the center of attention or being the the brand piece for the business. So totally understand that too. So I think that we want to frame tonight's conversation around how do you understand your personality and how do you play to your strengths within your business so that you're not creating a thing that, like, ultimately a thing that owns you and runs you and the thing that you don't like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, those are the two main concepts really, right? Like, and look, it can be really, really basic, right? It can be this simple. But I see extroverts trying to be introverted, and then I see introverts trying to be extroverted. And we can do that. If I think about the All Blacks, Richie McCaw can play winger. He can probably play prop. He can put right. Bowden Barrett, but I think it's largely about where you're going to pretty much find the most joy, right? Like they talk about talent, and talent is not just being good at something, but it's something that you're good at and you really love, and you enjoy doing it, right? Yeah. And so I think so many business owners that I talk to, they forget this, right? And again, they kind of accidentally or subconsciously build these businesses and create these roles that they don't like. So I think that's a really key point, right? I think it's about designing, right? And this is, from a spiritual or mindset perspective, it's about having some self-awareness around your tendencies, having some awareness around what a business is and the different roles and energies and types of tasks that it has in it. Right. And then creating a team around you that will get it all done for the business, but you're in your lane, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's part of a bigger, a macro, concept, which is kind of, man, you're in charge of this thing. Build a business that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah. Hey, so we've got people who jumped on with us. So keen to hear you guys' thoughts, comments. What is some of the stuff that you do in your business that you love to do? And how do you feel that relates to your personality? And what's some of the stuff that you do that you can't freaking stand and you just want to get away from? So drop a comment in the comment box. Let's hear it.
Strongly agree.
Look, I want to, I'm going to throw out a little exercise that I've used with a few people in our masterminds a couple of times, is the traffic light concept. So, for those people that are in their business day to day and coming up with things that, tasks, and they're going, fuck, what am I actually getting done during a day? Or I'm doing things that have got to be done because there's no one else to do them, but I really don't enjoy doing them. So it's as simple as, look, grab yourself a whiteboard. I like whiteboards, but pen and paper will do. And a red pen, an orange pen, and a green pen. And then the red pen is anytime you're doing something in your business that you just freaking hate doing. For me, entering invoices or that kind of stuff. And just jot those tasks down as they come up. And so just number one, it's going to give you some awareness of what you actually do with your time. And number two, it's going to give you just a place to start with where you're going to start outsourcing and removing some of those tasks. And then the orange one is kind of the task that you fall into where, like, you don't mind doing them. They're not, definitely don't want to do's. You get a little bit of enjoyment out of them, but there are also maybe tasks that are probably, like, I would say, lower dollar value that could be outsourced or, employ someone for. And then the green ones are the ones where you're absolutely in flow. Like for me, it was really, and still is now, if I'm face-to-face in sales, making sales, that's a green for me. I'm good. And, the other one for me, which is a green, was obviously the marketing, the presentation side of things. So, someone listening to this is probably going, fuck, I don't want to do sales. So that's a red task for you. So that's okay. You need to know that understand your personality and understand that you can, outsource that. Find yourself a salesperson. Find yourself a a marketing company to do your marketing. You don't have to do it yourself. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Brian?
Yeah, I strongly agree. I think for me, not to do list. Whether you use a pen and paper or just chuck it in your phone under notes if you're cool and you got an Apple phone, not a Samsung like Nick. And I know. What do you guys have? Google Keep. See, Samsung uses an operating system that's not even theirs. I don't even get that, eh? Anyways, just even a not to do list.
You realize
and
Android is now like the world's most popular operating
look at the
system.
demographics of who make up that popular group.
Smart people.
Yep. I don't know. Who do we rate as smart? Tim Ferriss, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. It'd be interesting. Anyway, horses for courses, I think. But look, I think a not to do list and I think a low value task list for me. And again, traffic lights are good. I think if you've got the whiteboard and you can run to the whiteboard and you can remember, but I mean, it's even like shopping lists for me, eh? Like, man, just having that thing on like a pen and paper on the fridge, man, it works for me for whatever reason, right? Some people try to digitize it and have it in their Trello or reminders or tick it all off on their phone and shit. And I'm just like, nah. So yeah, just a not to do list, eh? Or a low value task list. Like, shit, dude, if you're doing invoicing and you've got a reasonable sized business, you're probably doing something wrong. Something's not right, right? And I'm not saying you're dumb or anything like that. I'm just saying the business is not configured right. If you're doing the invoicing when you're the plumber or the I don't know, man, the doctor, the ad campaign manager. If you're doing that and you're at a reasonable size, not even significant, just a reasonable size, dude, something's not right here. Yeah. Yep. And again, you create this business, and so yeah, I think the point that we want to emphasize, I agree, is that you've got the ability if you can configure your business right. I'm not looking at you. If you can configure your business right, you control the comments. Hey, wait, this is not okay. This is not okay. You control the comments that pop up on the screen. But if you can design your business right, you can configure it right, you can actually follow the path and do the things that you love. And look, that might change from year to year or week to week, and that's okay because you're the boss, right? But you still need to respect your team, and you can't just make them do what they don't want to do. The ideal is building a team of people that love doing what they're doing. Okay, bring it back up. No, bring it back up. What's up, Kyle?
It's Raquel and Stu are business partners, and they run a pretty awesome yoga studio. So there you go. One of them runs Apple, one of them runs Android. There you go. Raquel is cool. Both smart people, you see, both smart people.
I agree. You were the one that said, "Hey, no, Apple lives don't matter." I was like, dude, I was like, dude. Samsung is smart. Apple is smart.
What's up, Kyle? Good to have you on, bro. Check us up. How you build your business, bro? I know you're crazy smart when it comes to Google and all things SEO. So what are some of the tasks that you absolutely hate doing within your business? Keen to hear, man.
Yeah, another question I have for Kyle, right, is how do you scale a services-orientated business, like with all the bots and the AI coming into like, Google Ads management and stuff like that. I think Google are releasing some of the bots, and how does he scale that, right? And then what role does he play? And I think it varies. It changes at different levels in the business, right? But is he always going to be the consultant expert dude running the campaigns and all that kind of stuff, or does he start to farm that out? I don't know. I'm interested in to hear, Kyle.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got that other question too, right? In the inbox, which is leasing versus buying, from a capex perspective.
Let me do a thing for it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else on man? Building a team, right? And I think that's the other thing too. We need to realize. I think a lot of us. How do I say this, man? Another mistake that I see in business a lot, man, is like let's say like Kyle's business, right? Like we're kind of consultants that run, scientific stuff, because with all due respect, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But there's two sides to marketing, right? Actually, there's more than that. But anyway, we'll just keep it basic, right? And we'll just say there's the scientific, data-driven kind of side, and then there's the kind of creative, copy, psychological kind of cut-through kind of side. And yeah, there's crossover and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, with these more data scientist driven kind of marketing agencies that are now here, Facebook ads, PPC, SEO, SEM, and all that kind of stuff. I think we got to be careful, right? This is true of all businesses, that we don't just hire more technicians. I think we can be guilty of that, and hiring more people like us, right? We need that diversity. We need that balance, if you like, in the team.
Yeah, I think I'd echo that in saying, look, there's nothing wrong with hiring more technicians as long as you have clearly defined roles and positions within the business and understand how those roles and positions and their personalities, which is, I think, the big topic, and this is where EQ comes in, being really, really smart about who you are emotionally, because their personalities and your personalities have got to gel to build a team. And if they don't, that's when you're going to get some challenges, hey?
Yeah, strongly agree, right? Strongly agree. And look, just my 5 cents, right? I don't think you want to hire too many technicians. And why do we keep hiring technicians? Where's the bookkeeper? Where's the marketer? Right? Where's the female? Again, I think there's value in diversity, right? And it's not always about getting the work done or billing more hours, getting more widgets out the door. And I think we forget that. So maybe tonight, look, a bit of a sub theme of tonight is just things that people forget. Like, shit, you're in control, man. Know your personality and build the business and your role within the business around your personality, something that you're going to be good at and enjoy.
I'm going to fire this comment up. Right. Totally related to tonight's topic, isn't it?
Oh, thanks, Faye. Thanks for the acknowledgement. And look, I'm glad that it's a valuable reminder for you, because it goes beyond your role in the business too. We're gonna come back to teams and stuff like that, but people are like, oh, I've got these crappy clients, oh, I've got these crappy team members, or I've got this crappy product, or what, and I'm like, you're the one in control.
Yeah, I mean, I had a guy that I employed, and we're mates, and I probably
this is gonna be a good story.
Like we weren't friends before I hired him, but once he started working with me, we became good mates, and he's the kind of guy now I still go and have a beer with. But I hung on to him for probably 18 months too long, and it cost me a ton of revenue and a ton of fuck ups that. And I just was like, oh, the guy's just so nice. I'll forgive him every time. And I forgot to draw the line with, hang on, you're fucking up my business here. And take it back to my own responsibility of that. I should have seen that pattern at the time and gone, fuck, I've got to stop this now, rather than going, oh, he'll get better. And like I say, heck of an awesome guy and all that. Just unfortunately when it comes to actually getting any work done, his priority was hanging out more so than it was creating revenue for the business. So it's all right. I mean, hey, we finally managed to break up and get on with business. But it was a, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's easy to look back, 4 years later and go, oh fuck, I really should have just done something about that. But my personality is the thing around valuing people's friendship and stuff. So that probably part of the reason why I hung on to it. So it can play against you too, without you realizing it, or even if you do realize it, but you still feel this. They kind of become part of your family on some levels when people.
Oh mate, it's a tough one, right? Especially those early ones, right? Those first kind of 3 to 5, like man. And once they get a bit of tenure under their belts, right, it's just really hard. I forget, what was that book? And it talked about the $1 Million Friend. I think it was the business owner kept his mate around, right? His mate helped him start the business, and then I don't know, 10 years later or 20 years later, whatever, he's still there. He's like middle management, and I think they did some calculations, and he ended up costing the business like $1 million, salary and all this kind of stuff and he just wasn't producing. So. Yeah, I hear you on that one, right? That's an interesting one. And see, again, look, for me, this is another reason why you need diverse energies on the leadership team, right? And when you're 3 people, you're pretty much all of the leadership team. I'm not saying you need a whole layer. I'm not talking about organizational design and such like that yet. But yeah, if I'm more extroverted, so I have a tendency or susceptibility to be more loyal, right? But then you got an introvert who and I'm speaking generally here, obviously. Sorry that I don't mean to put anyone in a box,
Yeah,
but
it's not categorization or anything like that. It's just, yeah, I get you. I'm with you, man.
right, you got someone who's a bit more logical, dude. I know he's a good guy. I know you're good mates, right? But come on, man, look at the numbers. It's just not going to work here. And that's what I mean. Like, yeah, we kind of hire more technicians. So if Kyle goes to hire, another AdWords person, another AdWords person, another AdWords person, nah, don't agree with that. I think we need to bring in a financial person, right? And then meet with them maybe once every 3 months, even, right? It doesn't have to be a lot of time if it's going to cost us a lot of money. But no, we need those different energies. Wow, look at Raquel.
Yeah, should we put that one up? And I'm quite.
I don't know. Read it. You read it first, bro, because I think it's just going to be like the whole screen.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll whack it up, and it's okay.
Yeah, all right.
We'll just. So Raquel said to Jung's comment earlier, self-awareness is critical to understand how to engage with your business, and ideally, you can show up as your authentic self at work. But we live in a polarizing society at the moment. How do you feel about business leaders sharing personal thoughts, beliefs, values regarding COVID-19, especially those in hospitality, fitness, and other business owners impacted by lockdowns? Background story: right now, yoga studios are banding together to write a proposal to government. Can't see the rest of it, Raquel. Yeah, look, this has been such an interesting time with the whole COVID-19, because it's so polarizing. You're right, and there's so many
Here we go. I got my
people
popcorn.
that are so bought into one narrative, and there's so people that are so bought into the other 5G wacko narrative, and it kind of seems like, fuck, if you just steer a little bit away from one of the other, all of a sudden people are calling you you're completely incompassionate because you don't want lockdowns anymore, or the other way that you support the government and then people call you a bloody a sheep and all the rest of it. So it is a very very challenging situation to navigate. I think the final bit of her comment was yoga studios to be considered essential service. I'm worried about framing this to our students who are triggered by wanting to stay open at level 3. So this is exactly what I'm saying. You've got half the people that freaking support you and are totally like going, man, like lockdowns aren't our future. This is crazy. And then you've got the other people that are like, oh no, the government's got our back. So I'm gonna give you what my perspective is on it, and it's an opinion. It's worth the 20 cents you gave me for it, but
I want my money back.
Bro, all the money that I've been paying you to show up each week. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go buy a Ferrari next week.
Yeah. So my perspective is Raquel on this is, I think you've got to take the stand that is right for you authentically, as to your own comment there. And if you feel that you want to stand up and say, fuck this, I've had enough of being told I can't operate every time 3 or 4 people get sick in the country, go you, all for it. And I feel like those members or students or whatever, it's okay to disagree. And I think as long as you can disagree with them respectfully and say, look, this is just my personal position on it. You don't have to agree. You're welcome to not come. We've got our online stuff, But for those that do want to turn up, for sure, we're open. Again, my personal perspective on it, but I mean, I've been pretty vocal on my own personal page around the lockdowns and where I kind of where I stand on it. So anyone who's watching and wants to know, just go and scroll my personal Facebook and you'll see a couple of hundred comments we got to one of my threads. So it was a good time. Yeah. John, thoughts?
And Nick not squatting much because anyway.
Bro, PB tonight. I got a fucking PB tonight.
Oh, what'd you hit?
100 kilo split jerk. That's over the head.
Split jerk.
That's over the head,
Yeah, just boom.
Yeah.
But it's not the snatch, eh?
Nah, I got a 65 kilo snatch as well, so it's pretty good.
Mate, so on a 75 kilo frame.
So yeah. So and what's your perspective on Raquel's question? And
oh, look, hey, for Raquel, yeah, again, just my opinion, man. I think you got to do you.
Yeah.
You got to do you. Right? That's what I will say. And what I mean by that in this context, if I kind of try and, I hope you know what that means. Shit, man, the world's always polarizing. It's just that you're polarized about a certain topic. But I also think, remember, we're business people. And whether we remember it or not, we're building a tribe, we're building a community, we're building a brand, right? And they're all synonymous to me. They're all the same goddamn thing.
Yep.
And so, whether conscious or subconscious, you stand for something. Raquel's yoga, studio, we stood for something, right? And that was relative to the context that we were operating in before. And it's changed now, right? And I get that. But you know what? The to your thing around the clients that do want to do yoga and believe it's an essential service, they'll come and find you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you may lose some of your current community, but you may pick up some new community that go, fuck yeah, Raquel, I totally respect you for standing up to this. Who can
I strongly agree, right?
I can't open my business.
And this is again coming back to that train of thought. This is your business. This is your life. Mm-hmm, and when you think about it that way, regardless of what the accountant says, you've got no choice.
Mm.
The accountant, don't do that. Don't say what you think. Yeah, don't act in alignment with your beliefs, with your values, with who you are, because you might lose some clients. You might lose some money. In what world is that?
How are you being authentic?
Okay? You don't have a choice. I don't think you've got a choice. If that's how you feel, you got to go and do the thing. If you need to write to government, you need to write to government. You need to do protests, you need to do protests. Are you guys an essential service? Look, I mean, and it's a grey area, right? And yeah, maybe just no one has asked the question. So you got to ask the question, I think. Right. But again, I would not worry about, losing clients. Shit, man. There's a balance. You got to turn up for your clients and you got to deliver value to them, in whatever form and fashion. That might be your pricing, your product, your service, whatever. Right. But shit, man, you're not like a slave. We just, take it all the time. No. You're a leader here.
Bro, Kyle's replied back to you, and he's
that's huge, right? And also, there's the leasing versus buying outright question in the inbox. We got to hit that. Dave, I think it was.
So I've got to take that. So let's just we'll.
I hope that helps, Raquel. I hope that helps, man. Be you. Be you.
Yeah, you do you. I love it. I'm gonna pop these up and read them, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, read them out, and then you're gonna respond. How's that sound? Deal.
Okay.
So Kyle says it's actually a good time for us, starting to get organized and looking at expanding. Yep, agreed. I need to have a way that works for you. My role will vary depending a bit on clients. I don't like writing content, so speaking in automation about bots, etc. Learning those are pretty useful when scaling. I hate content writing, so getting that automated is useful, especially with testing the new markets. I have a ton of sites built on auto-generated content feeding into social. And good SEOs are generally already employed, so you either want to build your own specification or poach one for someone else. Give them a report and see if they can tune a page. At the end of the day, you just want to work on your satisfaction, not everything that comes with not everything else that comes with the gurus. And again, he says, I don't like writing content. So speaking about automation bots, it's particularly useful especially when scaling. Oh, that's the same comment. I have a ton of sites built with auto-generated content feeding to other assets. I'm looking forward to a bot war. Some friends of mine in for some lawsuits with Google. I think okay. So the last one was a little bit off key, but the first two were good. So
yeah, I didn't get that, dude. Summarize that. Fuck, thank you, Kyle.
Basically, I think what he's saying is that, like, essentially, he's looking to expand and he's aware of what he doesn't like doing. But one of the challenges they've got is that people are good at what he does, are generally already employed already, or running their own thing. So it's kind of like, do they poach someone, or do they, try to use systems to scale up, systems and automation rather than, like you said, more technicians?
Good question, man. There's a lot in there. First thing I say is answer is both. Unfortunately, Kyle, do both. Right? Mm-hmm. Try to separate, try to automate, systemize, softwareize, the systemizable things, parts of your role. But yeah, there is like this piece, right? And AI is just not there yet. It can't replace you guys yet entirely. So you got to have humans for that. In terms of poaching, look, First thing I'll say is, right, we talked about this on our page, I think it was, right? When it comes to recruiting, we need to think about it like lead generation out the front of the business, right? In terms of revenue generating, we want to attract humans, right? With an ad, as an example. Then we want to have a little bit of a sequence or a nurture or a funnel, and it brings them into a more meaningful conversation. And then we have a conversation, which is an interview, right? And then we shortlist, and then we might work together. And I think you need to think about it out that at the back end of the business too, with kind of recruiting. What's our brand? What's our culture? What's our value proposition to our team members? All that kind of stuff. And then that all being said, yeah, look, I do believe in coaching, right? Richard Branson, I think in one of his books, Losing My Virginity, I think it was, pretty much a strategy when he wants to go into an industry. You know, he makes sure that he positions himself as best he can to be number one in the industry, and he hires the number two from the number one in the industry.
They took the CEO of Qantas, who'd been with them for 20 years, and absolutely dominated Australia when they put Virgin Australia out. Obviously, things have changed now, but
yeah, didn't they file? I think they filed,
yeah,
eh?
Yeah, they did, yeah. But he had sold his shareholding in it. So yeah, Kyle just said, hey, it's hard to respond when the topic moves in quick. Yeah, totally get it, bruv. It is a hard one. We kind of fly, and we try to squeeze this into 30 minutes. So okay,
no, that's good. That's good. Kyle, thank you. Yeah, look, and I get it too, but I can read what you're saying too, bro. Like, you're bang on. I think you're good, Kyle. You're good. Yeah, I just hope you do scale, right? And what I do think is your role will change because you're going to have to choose a side eventually. You're going to have to choose. Right, there's three things. Sorry, by the way, right? You're as CEO and co-founder or founder. You've got three roles that you cannot delegate, really, ultimately, right? One is strategy, the future of the business and where it's going, like the direction of the business. Two is culture. You can't. You might have a chief people officer, head of HR, whatever, but you've got to, whether you know it or not, you will significantly influence the culture, right? When we got shit CEO, then the culture is going to be shit. And the third thing is growth. No one's going to drive that as much as you, right? And so now you're in the tools, so to speak. You're on the tools in your SEO agency, but yeah, look, I think that's going to change. It'll have to change. I think, especially when you get up around maybe 2 or 3 consultants, you need to make a senior, an intermediate, and a junior. Maybe have a couple of juniors. You know this, Kyle. I think you know this, and I just think, but look forward to it, right? And design your path that way.
And I think stay in touch with us, man. Like we're keen to hear your journey and your questions over the weeks and the months that we keep doing this. So let's.
Are you in one of the Biz squads? Is he in one of the Biz squads?
He's one of our admins in the group. We can.
Does he want to be in the Biz squad?
Yeah, I'm sure he's listening. So.
Yeah, you want to be in the Biz squad? Jump in the Biz squad because we're about to start charging for it. So yeah, actually, for any of you guys that are we're about to start charging for it. So get in there now if you want to get in there free.
So this was a question that came through to our inbox, and it kind of follows on from last week's conversation, around accounting and finances and, the real nitty-gritty shit that needs to be talked about in business. So leasing versus owning, capital expenditure, things like cars, plant, and office equipment. And I think from a high level perspective, look, it's whatever works. If you've got capital and you want to get the depreciation on that capital, then owning's probably the answer. But if you're more of a cash flow type business and you don't really are looking for that, but you're just looking for equipment that you can kind of periodically pay and then upgrade as you need to, perhaps leasing is a better strategy. Number one is you need to have financial advice on this. So certainly it comes back to what we talked about last week is during your setup and your early on phases, make sure you've had those quality conversations with your professional, your accountant, your whoever it might be. Have that discussion before you go and sign up for a lease, or you take a loan, or you use your capital to buy a car or a piece of plant or whatever. Yeah, John, over to you.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. First and foremost, I'll say, when you're looking at specific items, again, there's a very specific thing. So I kind of said that to Dave in the inbox, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, go and see your accountant. He's like, oh, I probably don't want to necessarily talk to the accountant. I want to get my head around it first before I talk to the accountant. And that, by the way, Dave, that kind of indicates to me like, yeah, look, I'd probably like go and talk to another accountant, just that, right? But because right, a good accountant, you'll be like, yeah, fuck you. What's Jung? I don't need Jung's 5 cents or Nick's 5 cents. Like my accountant's got me. What Right, but again, I don't know what dynamics are there. But go and talk to an accountant. What I'll say is three things. First things is right. First thing is, do you want to be a cash flow? Yeah, right. Kind of orientated business, or do you want to be a capital orientated business? Right. And I would suggest until you're like a significant size, and even at scale, I think cash flow is the play. Right. And so yeah, that's the thing, right? Leasing affects your cash flow, right? Whereas capital investment, if you've got it, but again, I'd argue that you could probably spend it on other things as well, mate. Right? There's benefits to owning, as an example, right? When we look at property management, so we'll just draw an analogy to give you reinforce the concept, right? Typically, you don't, as a property investor, you don't own where you live because that capital is better leveraged somewhere else, generating income, right? So yeah, I think it's typically there. But in saying that, when tough times come along like this, I think it's still coming. I don't even think we've felt it yet. The incoming recession, the dudes that have a lot of debt levels that they've got to carry into this because they were cash flowing their businesses, you know, trying to maximize cash flow, or minimize cash expenses and stuff like that, and you get tax benefits and things like that, which is really the benefits of leasing.
Yeah, GST, all that kind of stuff on a monthly basis. And
right, fringe benefit tax.
Again, we're getting way micro here. So
quite technical, right? Yeah, look, so what I'll say is, dude, like they're going to be in trouble because when you have those slow periods, those dips, those ebbs, you need that capital to kind of, right? But when you've got expenses just coming out of your ass because you've hire purchased things, leased things, rented things, it's just it makes your cash position really hard.
All right, bro, I'm gonna do. Kyle said, "Sure." Are you sure that means he wants to jump in the Biz Squad with you?
Do it.
And
what's this Facebook user?
Yeah, so we're gonna actually leave that before our final comment because I feel like it's gonna be a great way to rope out. So we're gonna go to Biz Shiz update. And for me, man, both my squads are steaming along, getting some awesome results. I know Faye was on tonight; she's just killing it. She's having a great time. And really starting to, from the conversations we're having, really starting to take some of tonight's message around her personality and put it into her business and realize it is her business. So it's freaking awesome. We had a new member. Yeah, right.
That's nice, right?
We had a new member jump in and just straight up to speed with the group, which is really, really awesome. And it's really I'm really enjoying that Monday night, jumping on a call with them for an hour and just catching up and seeing how their businesses are doing and offering perspective and seeing the light bulbs go off when we, help them find a different, way of framing or viewing the problem. But John, you've got something really exciting you want to share about the Biz Shiz tonight as well. So I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yeah. Oh, exciting. We're going to start charging for it. Right. We've got momentum now. We developed the process, right? It's trucking along well. I'm enjoying it too. But I love that stuff, right? I love business owners getting together, talking about business, trying to make it better. And what we're going to do, right? We're going to start segmenting, right? We're going to start doing because. Oh right, yeah, right. Because we're going to start segmenting, right? We're going to start segmenting our groups because it's about getting around like-minded people
and the scale and the brain, the skill set, right?
Yeah, right. So we're going to do one-man bands. We're going to do about 5 team members, and then we're going to do 10 plus kind of team members, right? So that you have different challenges when you got 10 team members versus when you only got yourself. Right, if you got team challenges when you're a one-man band, well, shit, you got some big problems. Right, but I'm even more excited about because those of you, does anyone want to spend some one-on-one time with either Nick or I? Right, so you got the Biz Squads, right, and you can jump in those before we start charging you for those. But if you want to spend some one-on-one time with us and we really have a look at your business, your business plan, that's what I'm big on. If you do spend some time with me, I'll just want to jump on the business plan. See what's happening there. There'll be gaps. There'll be things that you haven't looked at, and we'll just ask what's up with that. You might be able to fill those gaps really, really quickly. Right. If you want to spend time with us, hit us up. Right. Put it that way. So Nick, we're gonna what, half an hour? Can we give them half an hour?
Yep, we can do that. Yep.
Raquel asked, where do you find a Biz Squad? Where do you find Biz Squad? That's what Raquel says. But
jump in the DMs, Raquel.
Yeah. Just drop us a message if you're interested in spending some one-on-one time with us. Right, jump in a Biz Squad if you can, because I think it's really, really good to do. But if you want to spend some one-on-one time with us, hit us up. We're registered service providers under the RBP, so there's potential funding there too, right? Like 100% funding to spend some time with us. But half an hour with us, straight off the bat, we can tackle your problem, your business plan, your issue, whatever you want to talk about. And we'll take it from there.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we're gonna go. So yeah, Raquel, jump in the thing now. I'm gonna.
Hey, wait, how come she responds to your comment and then she just doesn't respond to mine? She's like, "Shut up, Jung."
Yeah.
Sorry, Raquel. Sorry.
So now this is Julianne, who's actually in one of the squads that I'm running at the moment, and
hey.
She has to, Julianne, just so you know, you have to like StreamYard so that your name and profile picture comes up, but it's all good. We got you. So she says, and this is going to be closing thoughts of the night. It's, I love Jung's comment. You've got to do you, because she feels nowadays too many people too many people feel to fit a mold. So do you, stand out and be proud. It might be hurting in the short run when you lose some customers, but authenticity and honesty pays off in the long run. And like, man, she's only been in a business 8 months and she's had some incredible growth, man. She's on track to do probably $500,000 on a trajectory right now, and massive growth throughout the lockdown, and a real interesting niche. But that there is, I think, is what sums up the whole conversation around you and your personality tonight. It's you got to build your business for you, and you've got to build it for the values that you want to be out there in the marketplace. If you see a gap in the market because someone's doing something really crappy, and you're okay with calling it crappy and standing on your own 2 feet and doing it better, fuck, man, that is where it's at. That's what real entrepreneurship is all about.
Truth, brother. Truth. Yep. I think Dr. Seuss said it, right? Do you, because everyone else is taken.
Yeah. Love it. So that's us. Jump in the DM, set us up. Let's have a conversation. We'll catch you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Next week. Tuesday. Is that right? Tuesday?
Hey, well done.
Hey.
Well done. Palangi. Good. Oh, wait, that's not.
Pakeha. Good night.
Oh, right. Oh, we're still going. Oh.